Oh, there we go. Recording is going now. I started to say that when I was invited to do this, the first thing that occurred to me was in my own personal practice, something that is really growing every day. In addition to, of course, my own meditation practice, which is really at the most important time I spend every day, really. But during much of my waking life, I've begun to really consciously practice gratitude. Now, I know this is something that I'm sure many of you have done from time to time, but it's become more and more of a consistent remembering for me. And what I've discovered is that it can be a powerful companion to our spiritual life, which will, in the moment, transform our lives and our view of ourselves and the world. You know, we've all, since we were little children, we've all heard that expression, count your blessings. And it's we remember that from when we were little. And yet, how often do we actually practice it in the moment of our lives? A Course in Miracles, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, the channeled transmission. A Course in Miracles says that every moment of our lives, we have a choice between a grievance and a miracle. In every moment of our lives, we have a choice between a grievance and a miracle, and we can cultivate the direct experience of miracles through the practice of gratitude. And much like, our meditation practice, the more consistent we are with that practice, as in meditation, the disturbed state becomes more and more the exception, and the coherent, awakened state becomes more and more the rule. So it is with gratitude. It is cultivating a state of being, of consistent being. Gratitude is different from positive thinking. We've heard that expression, where in that it is conscious, open appreciation of what is in our lives at any moment. Sarah's friend and mentor, Byron Katie, uses the expression often, loving what is. And this is really the same as remembering to be grateful, because when we begin to become grateful, we mitigate what may be an often habitual tendency to default to what we think we may lack or what we think may be missing. And when we default to that sense of lack or something missing, it creates a separation from us with everything that is. The law of attraction says that what we put our attention on becomes enlivened in our experience, or as we think, so shall we become. So when we truly begin to become grateful for what exists in our lives, and this is something I want to encourage everybody to, begin to practice more consistently. When we begin to really become grateful for what exists in our lives, we start to see there's no end to the things that we can consider, that our lives are so abundant, and that we live in an abundant universe, and that we are a part of that universe. There's so much, but it is the intention. It requires the intention to begin to notice. So, but when we begin to cultivate gratitude in our awareness, there's no longer any room for what we don't want and what we might resist. Again, that resistance, creates the separation. One of the questions that keeps coming to me is, how can I take for granted in this moment the gift of my existence? It is a gift. It's a miracle and a great mystery, and it continues to be in every moment. The fact that we're alive, the fact that we're functioning in the way that we are. And in some ways, I hate to use the word, but I think it's almost like a sin that we take for granted the gift of our lives in this moment. You know, within the Yoga Sutras, many of you are, I'm sure, practitioners of yoga and know about the Yoga Sutras, the great treatise from the Vedic tradition, the 8 limbs of yoga. Within the 8 limbs, there are the yamas and the niyamas, which are the moral and ethical restraints and observances, sort of like the do's and don'ts in the Vedic tradition. But among the niyamas, one of the observances is something called santosh. Santosh is contentment with what is. And like with much of the practices in yoga, it is something to remember and to practice on a regular basis, and to observe in what ways we're not content with what is. And this is very much associated with the practice of gratitude. Also in the Vedic tradition, we know about the 3 gunas, the 3 principles in nature: sattva, rajas, and tamas. Rajas is sort of the energy. I think of it as being like foot on the gas. It's like we're trying to realize some desire we have, and we're consistently moving toward the future. You know, got to have that. Whereas tamas is more like entropy and sort of foot on the brakes and sort of retracting into torpor. Sattva, on the other hand, is the it manifests as purity, harmony, and alignment. So I think of sattva as when we just put the gear shift into neutral instead of foot on the gas and brakes. We put the gear shift into neutral and just relax into being, relax into the realization and appreciation of what is. Gratitude arises spontaneously when we're happy, and being happy and feeling love arises out of choosing gratitude. And gratitude, as we begin to practice it more and more consistently, awakens love. And love is our nature. It's sleeping, but it is truly our essential nature. And that's what we're all here to do, to awaken our true nature, awaken to our true nature as love. So I think before we start this meditation, I want to just ask you to join me in a brief invocation. So let's just close our eyes and bring our attention inside for a moment. Just bring your attention into the heart. Sahana vavatu, sahana bunatu, saha viryam karavavahai, tejasvina vaditamastu, mavid vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the divine nourish us. May the divine protect us. May our sincere inquiry into the nature of being be energized and illumined. And may no animosity arise among us. Om, peace, peace, peace. And now, continuing to have that sense of presence, let's begin to bring our attention into the heart. And now allow the awareness to rest easily in the heart center. And just begin to feel the pulse, the movement of the circulation. And begin to notice how in this moment we are held. We're held by the chair we're sitting in or by the floor that we're sitting on that supports us. And we're feeling held by the earth below us. It takes no effort to be held. So just begin to relax and feel the body relaxing into that holding. And begin to just inquire in this moment, what else is holding me now without any effort on my part? Now let's begin to hold simple gratitude in this moment for our life that is unlike any other moment. This moment now is a gift. And now let's offer gratitude to our parents and our grandparents and our ancestors who gave us our lives. The countless couples that came together for us to be here now in this moment. Now notice something beyond our effort that is giving impulse to our heart to continue its beating moment by moment since we began in the womb. What is that something that gives impulse to our heart to continue to beat? Begin to recognize with gratitude that mystery, which is always the source of our beating heart. Begin to feel gratitude now for our own unique heart, which has been given to us, and recognize how our heart sends blood and nourishment to every part of our system. And now let's feel the warmth and comfort of the circulation of the blood, moving everywhere in our body, to every artery, vein, cell, tissue, organ, muscle, and nerve, without any effort on our part. Feel with gratitude the warmth of our circulation, that tingling sensation that we recognize as the blood flowing now into the bottoms of our feet. And feel with gratitude the area we call our feet, upon which we stand and move in the world. No effort to feel the feet, only awareness. I'm grateful for the toes and the bottoms of the feet, the tops of the feet, and the ankles, all of which carry and balance the weight of my entire body. Now feel with gratitude the warmth of circulation moving from our heart into our knees and into the calves and calf muscles, the shins and shin bones, and into our thighs and the backs of our thighs. Feel our own legs that are unique to us, that serve our desire to walk and run and move in the world, for which we are so grateful. I'm grateful for the warm circulation moving through my heart, into my hands and wrists, my lower arms, my upper arms. I'm grateful for the sense of touch. Feel the warmth of the circulation moving from the heart down to the buttocks area, the anus, and the organs of elimination, and to the root chakra and the lumbar spine. I'm grateful for my generative organs through which the gift and miracle of life can become manifest. And I'm grateful for the joy of all of my creativity. I'm grateful to my navel chakra, lower abdomen, the dantian area, the center of gravity and balance, where I store chi, prana, and the life force. I'm grateful now for my heart, bringing the blood into my stomach and all my internal organs, and to my lower back and kidneys and adrenals. Feel the circulation there. I'm grateful for my solar plexus, diaphragm, ribs, and rib cage. And I'm grateful for my shoulders and shoulder blades and the upper back and thoracic vertebrae and my chest and heart and lungs. I feel with gratitude the circulation from my heart into my neck and throat, thyroid gland, and into the back of my neck and the cervical vertebra. I'm grateful for my jaw and chin, mouth, lips, teeth, tongue, and for my sense of taste, and for my vocal cords and voice, my ability to speak and to sing. I'm grateful for my cheeks and cheekbones, for my nose and my olfactory sense of smell. I'm grateful for my eyes, my sense of sight through which I perceive light and color, and my eyelids, which allow me to meditate and rest and sleep. I'm grateful for my ears and the sense of hearing and my awareness of both sound and silence. I'm grateful for my whole head and the miracle of my brain functioning. I'm grateful for my whole body. In this moment, I am grateful for the gift of breath and oxygen that is always available, bringing fresh life and prana. I'm grateful for the mystery of this ever-present awareness, which allows me to perceive my experience of body, thoughts, and a sense of the world. I am grateful for this sense of I am. I'm grateful now for every person here present, for the Sangha, this convocation with whom I can share this intimate experience. Each one of us a unique body and yet one awareness. I'm grateful for the sea of grace in which we all live and have our lives in each and every moment in which everything exists. I am grateful. Now, take a moment to consider what in our own immediate awareness right now we can be grateful for. There is no end to what we can be grateful for in any and every moment of our lives. We live in an abundant universe. All we need to do is be aware. The practice of gratitude is a practice of oneness. There's no separation when we are grateful for everything in our lives. And this is a choice that we can cultivate. If we default to a sense of lack and what we imagine that is missing, we only create more of a sense of lack and something missing. And when we focus on what we don't want through fear, what we resist in terms of the illusion of separation will persist. And when we live in the anxiety of wanting more or better or different, we miss the very magic of life in our direct experience. One additional way to come to a state of gratitude is to imagine what our life would be like if everything we have was suddenly taken away. And what would our life be like if everything was once again restored? Choosing gratitude brings us immediately right to our present experience. And we may choose this and discover this for ourselves. I want to just offer a few quotes on the subject of gratitude. Roy Bennett, in his book, The Light in the Heart, says, "Be grateful for what you already have while you pursue your goals." If we aren't grateful for what we have, what makes us think we'd be happy with more? And Alphonse Carr, in A Tour Around My Garden, says, "We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorns have roses." Epictetus, the Greek philosopher, says, "Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for." They are wise people who do not grieve for the things which they have not, but rejoice for those things which they have. Seneca, the Roman philosopher, said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient, for he that is so wants nothing." The greatest blessing of mankind is within us and within our reach. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. And from Winnie the Pooh, Piglet noticed that even though he had a very small heart, it could hold a rather large amount of gratitude. The author Jen Sincero says, "Gratitude is one of the strongest and most transformative states of being. It shifts our perspective from lack to abundance and allows us to focus on the good in our lives, which in turn pulls more goodness into our reality." It's the same as the law of attraction. What we put our attention on becomes enlivened, and we spontaneously attract more of the same. Will Arnett, an actor who I really like, says, "I am happy because I am grateful. I choose to be grateful. That gratitude allows me to be happy." And another author, Melody Beattie, says, "Gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance. chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It makes sense of our past. It brings peace for today and creates a vision for tomorrow. And finally, Ralph Waldo Emerson said, cultivate the habit of being grateful for everything that comes to you and to give thanks continually. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. So I want to just close with this beautiful quote from Kalidasa, the Shakespeare of the Vedic tradition. He says, look to this day. Look to this day, for it is life. It is the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of our existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of achievement. These are all but experiences in time. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow only a vision. And today, well lived, makes yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. Such is the salutation to the ever-new dawn. So we can begin every day with this prayer in our heart. I am grateful. Namaste.